Hello and welcome to this week's recap. No cap.
Cap on my head. Baseball cap.
The segment where we
recap our 3 favorite podcasts: Empower Her with Keisha, Powerhouse Women with Lindsay Schwartz, and Earn Your Happy with Lori Harder. And then Chris just comes along for the ride with her.
and Eeyore, Chris Harder.
So let's start with, we can end with She Shed. Let's start with Empower Her. And Empower Her with Keisha, it was a pep talk. You get to decide who you want to be. What are you choosing? And she started off by introducing this book, It Takes What It Takes by Trevor, forgot his last name. There's lots of sports analogies in it, but essentially he wasn't a very good student in school, and he was just like, oh man, I'm not a good student. I'm not going to do well my SATs. But he decided going into the SAT tests, like, okay, I'm going to do my best, give it my all. He gets his SAT scores back, and he got a 1480 out of 1600. And he's like, what? Oh my God, I'm a smart guy. Like, now I'm going to start hanging out with the smart kids and start applying myself to school. And he really changed the trajectory of his academic career. He ended up at an Ivy League school. He's super duper successful. Turns out 12 years later, he gets a letter in the mail, and they're like, oopsies, we made a mistake on your SAT score. You actually had a 740, not a 1480. So if he would have known that information 12 years earlier, he would have just maybe kept on living into that idea and belief that he wasn't a good student, he's not smart, etc. Instead, he had this belief that he was really smart, and that changed his life. So it just goes into the power to show what you believe about yourself is really what happens.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really like that antidote. I like that story. I give this episode a 5 out of 5.
I concur. So it also just made me think, like, when someone asks me what I do, I feel like I do a lot of things, and I'm like, I'm a chiropractor and podcaster, I own a business, I do like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I'm like, why am I so dodgy to answer the question when I should just pick one and do it? And Lori Harder always says she's a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I'm like, yeah, that's me, but then I feel like I'm stealing that from her. So
whoever you're telling, they wouldn't know.
That is very true.
Right.
So yeah, it just made me think about the belief that I have in myself and what am I putting out into the world. So yeah.
I don't really have anything to say that hasn't been said. I just really like that story. It was very I'm going to try and start doing the same.
Yeah. So also the takeaway with the episode, these are 3 questions that you can write down, ask yourself later. What do you believe about your identity? Who taught you that belief? And does that belief serve you and your values?
My therapist made me write down those questions for 10 years in a row.
Oh. And?
Good.
Okay. If you haven't been in therapy for 10 years, give it a go.
And let us know what you come up with.
Okay.
But no, I mean, it is a very valid question.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right, moving on. We have Powerhouse Women with Lindsay Schwartz, Activate Your Abundance, Part 2. And she interviewed Dr. Megan Daly. She's a physical therapist, and she's launching a membership for active adults. And I was like, dang, these are just really speaking to me this week because...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought of you.
Because she's a physical therapist, but she was also in that mode of like, I don't really want to tell people I'm a physical therapist because people might not take her seriously, or they're like, is that even a real doctor? And I get that a lot in chiropractic. I'm like, yeah, I'm a chiropractor. So I get where she was coming from with wanting to pivot and do an online membership and be able to reach more people. And not that I want to do an online membership or anything, that's not really calling to my name, but it was good to hear an inspiring story of another person in the healthcare field who wants to pivot and make a shift. But anyways, the rest of the episode was just about how can you get into that abundant mindset. And Lindsay has this exercise where you write down 10 or 20 things, 20 ways of how you can make money right now or pretty immediately. And it's a good exercise to do when you're thinking in a scarcity mindset that you can't afford anything or you have no money, blah, blah, blah. So I'll just run down a list of like 5 and then you can listen to the rest of them on her show. So the first one, set up affiliate links, sell all your favorite products. If you're already promoting it on Instagram, you might as well get paid for it anyways. Number 2, you can do a small mentorship group like our Hike to Happiness that Chelsea's launching. You can also freelance, do for some extra cash. Like if you're good at something, you can just offer your services to someone. Like I could set up your social media account and get you going. Another one would be to host a paid masterclass, so some kind of like webinar online. And then one other one, if you do sell a product, you can try to upsell at the checkout. So those are like 5 of them, and then you can listen to the rest of them. It was a good episode.
It was a good episode.
Yeah. Okay, now to She Shed. Earn Your Happy with Lori Harder, Learning from the Comfort Crisis. Also mention another book. It's Comfort Crisis, Embrace Discomfort to Reclaim Your Wild, Happy, Healthy Self by Michael Easter.
Okay.
Yep.
I bet that's a good book.
I bet you it's a good book. We finally got down to the Chris Fitz and why he's been so whiny lately.
He's such a little bitch. He's such a little bitch.
He even acknowledged that.
Such a little bitch.
He even acknowledged that, like, in the episode. He's like, I've been having these Chris Fits. And Lori is like, yeah, I thought you were going to be really upset when you missed your flight and you had to drive and all the things. She's like, "Argh."
He's so entitled. Okay, so it's a husband and wife. She's very successful, and he is successful with her.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always got a little bit of an Eeyore outlook on life. Oh, this, and oh, I didn't have Wi-Fi, or oh, I had to do a business meeting for like 3 days at my lake house, my brand new $1 million lake house. And then, oh, my flight got canceled, and oh, they don't have Wi-Fi on the plane. I was just like, for goodness sakes, do you not hear what you're saying out loud? Like, you're whining on your yacht, and it's getting old. So now he's talking to regular folk like us. You know what I mean? Like, and even, like, just like, dial it back and pretend to be real. I don't know. So
I was just thinking, I never use the Wi-Fi on the plane.
Okay. I think it's the guy that says, who's the redheaded comedian that was canceled? Eat a bag of...
Louis C.K.
Yeah, he got canceled, but he does a bit about, like, no, there's no Wi-Fi. This tin tube is flying at 40,000 feet, and I'm not dying, and I'm able to breathe in it, and it gets me from point A to point B, but it doesn't have Wi-Fi? What the fuck? Chris Harder, come on, dude. But, like, our episode this week, where I talk about getting lost in the woods, and that was a legit being out of your comfort zone. Like, I didn't know what to do or how to handle the situation. Whereas a flight gets canceled, it's not ideal.
Right.
But you're not out of your comfort zone. Chris, I challenge you to get legitimately lost, or like something that requires you to work on your feet, that if you don't have cell service and you don't have people, like, get lost in the woods, Chris, and then report back.
Right.
Poor Lori.
You should delete the DoorDash app off his phone so he can't
They don't have food. It's just like, come on, Chris, buddy, I love you, and I can't wait to see you at Keisha's Empower Her, and I'm going to be the first one in line, but I'm going to say, come on, brother, you got this. Like, your life is a lot better than everybody's. I mean, I can't speak for that. My life is pretty darn great, but so is yours.
Yes.
Quit your bitching.
Right? It's like, and they say, get used to discomfort. So it's just a way of life. So get used to no Wi-Fi.
Why are you whining so much?
I know. I just had a good chuckle when I heard
his
that.
wife is like, I know. I was afraid you were going to yell at me about this, too. God.
I thought that was a cute glimpse behind the curtain
of
how it actually goes.
Ooh. So those shit sandwiches are shared amongst the home. Because he was like, I thought there was going to be a Chris shit sandwich. I was going to... And he, like, describes it. And I was like, dude, back off.
Yeah, he really put a lot of effort into thinking about how shitty it could be.
It's like, and I had to drive to my mom's house and borrow her car. I was like, and you have someone in Denver? Okay, so if you got it. You got the gist of he said, she said, where it's like, be uncomfortable and find, really what they were describing is, fired to so fire moments.
Yes.
Yes. Right? That's really that's the point we really want to make, is that this particular episode of Earn Your Happy, they're describing how to take those fired moments and make them the best possible situation, if not better than the original.
Boom. Thanks, Chris, for listening to So Fired and turning those So Fired moments into So Fired moments.
Now turn that frown upside down, Chris, and you smile. Smile your way through that no Wi-Fi time travel called a plane. God damn it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening to our recap. Definitely go listen to these episodes from last week. And yeah, just, we're just chatting it over our smoothies. We're besties over smoothies, chatting it up. So share this with your bestie and chat about this episode with them, and then share it on Instagram and tag us at So Fired. Thanks.
Bye. Bye.
Disclaimer. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The stories and statements expressed herein are experiences and opinions. They may not represent the views of the production studio or the hosts. If you disagree with our content, that's okay. No podcast is perfect for everyone.